Welcome back to Both Things Creative. My name is Jenna. Today I'm going to bring you along with me as I experiment with a new lettering technique on the gel plate, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right, if you have been following me for a little while, you know that I am a big fan of using lettering and words in my artwork, and I'm always looking for new ways to do that and easier ways to do that. In all of my work so far, I've really just been cutting letters out of a thicker paper and using those as masks on the gel plate, which is cut just essentially blocking off areas of the gel plate. I was at Michael's the other day and came across these foam sheets, and I thought maybe I could cut letters out of this material, glue them onto cardboard, and have stamps that were a little bit more durable that I could control a little bit better on the gel plate. So this is my first time doing this. I've cut just the letters I need for a phrase I'm going to use. And if this works, I'll probably cut the whole alphabet. One thing to keep in mind when you're lettering on the gel plate, first, when you lay your letters down on your gel plate, you want them to be backwards so that when you pull your print up, they're forwards. But if you're looking at making stamps, you want your stamp to read forwards so that when you stamp it, it's backwards. So a few different things to keep straight here. But as we move through this, I think it'll begin to make sense. So first, I'm starting on a 16 by 20 Jelly Arts gel plate. This is one of my favorite plates. It has some spotting and a little bit of ghost image from prior prints, which I personally like. It's always kind of a surprise how things turn out. So I'm not going to clean it completely. That is up to you. You can start with a clean plate every time if you'd like. I am going to use this Lizard inkjet print that I actually used in a different demo. So this has been transferred one time already, but I think we have a few more prints left with this inkjet ink here, and I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to, let's see, where will I place her? I think right here. Okay, I'm going to deliberately leave this inkjet print down on the plate, which is a very big benefit of the inkjet transfer. I can use it as a transfer and a mask in one. So really what that means is I'm going to cover this plate in a color and a texture. And then when I remove this, my lizard will be open for a brand new color to be laid down. And it'll create a nice contrast in the end print. Okay. So first, let's pick out some colors of paint. Try to have kind of a general color scheme in mind. And I'd say these colors are following a version of a complementary color scheme, maybe blue-green versus a red-orange here. So we'll see how this turns out. I'm going to put the little emerald green down here on the bottom. And some orange up top. And a little of my red oxide right in the middle. Let's see how this goes. Good. The cadmium orange to at least the Liquitex acrylic is fairly transparent. So there's that. I'm getting a little bit of a ghost image there. That's better. Okay. I don't know if my studio is super dry today, but it feels like the paint is extra sticky and drying really quickly. So I'm going to try and move pretty fast here with my lettering. Oh, That's not where I wanted to start. That's okay. I'm laying my letters down. I need to use this L again. Oh, so that's an unexpected lift. I should use a little bit less pressure or cut that out. I'll try it with less pressure. Oh, okay. I might need to trim that. We will see how that turns out. Again, this is improv, so I'm running out of space potentially. It'll be okay. Okay. Come in, paint's drying. I gotta move a little quickly. Okay. I think in general, I'm really liking this. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. I want to use this placemat for a little added texture. If the paint is still wet enough to lift up, let's do that. Oh, I love that pattern. I love that pattern. I'm gonna bring the camera down here so you can see that. Neatest little hash marks. Let's see that there. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's zoom you back out. Want another color now. And this next color will really be the main color for the letters. Let's see. So when you're layering colors, especially with very transparent colors like this orange, keep in mind they will interact. It's almost like color mixing without actually mixing the paint in a way. So I'm going to stick within the orange hue family and go with a light coral up top and a turquoise blue down below. I have a feeling up here might be difficult to read because of how transparent that orange really was. But I'm going to just keep going. I like to use metallic marker and other markers and paints to embellish the print afterwards anyway, so we can kind of highlight those letters up top if we need to when we get there. Okay, I'm going to pull my lizard image off here. Good. Interesting, that little area didn't transfer so well. I don't know why. Okay. Sometimes I take a little peek to see how things are coming, especially to think about what color I might want to make this guy. I'm going to go with light olive green, one of my absolute favorite colors. And I'm going to bring my blow dryer over to make sure this layer is dry before I add any paint here, because I want these lines to remain clean and not blend with the added paint. I am going to use this hairdryer on the cool setting so I don't do any damage to my gel plate. Going with my little tiny brayer for this. Oh, it's my squeaky brayer. Sorry about that. I'm going to dry this layer because it is a bit transparent, and come back with one more coat so that this color is nice and opaque when I pull the print later. I'm going to use my hairdryer one more time to dry this, and then we'll pull the print. Another good tip for making some of your masked areas or colors in general more opaque is to add a layer of titanium white when you pull the print. I think that serves as a really nice foundation behind these colors to make them bright and bold. With that being said, make sure your paint is dry before you add the titanium white, or it's going to tint all of your colors and shift everything. Okay, I'm going to pull this using titanium white and a Canson 140-pound watercolor paper. So let's go. When I have multiple layers of paint like this, I usually pull with quite a thick layer and let it dry a while, just to be sure I get it all. And again, this paint is pretty sticky and dry, so I might actually put a little bit of matte medium, maybe a lot of matte medium down with it, so I can make sure it's nice and wet and adheres with the paper across the entire surface. Now I'm trying to move fairly quickly in because the paint's drying so fast. I especially like to cover the edges because that's where the paint tends to stick to the plate and not come up on the page. And move this down. I like the more I do this, the better I get at laying it down so that it's centered, but it may still be a little bit off. And I will either live with that or trim the paper to square it up. I apply pressure across the entire surface. Pretty good amount of pressure, especially on the edges. And now I'm going to let this dry an hour because of how many layers I put down, just to be on the safe side, and I will see you then. Okay, so it's actually been almost 3.5 hours. I went and ran some errands, so hopefully this is all dried and we can pull it. I love it. Love it. All right. See, I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see a little bit better. Okay, let's take a look. Interesting. So you can actually see that first O. Remember when I put the wrong letter down? I don't mind that. I love the texture of the placemat, the woven lines. I really don't even mind this added stamping from like the cardboard behind the letter. I'll probably play with that more in the future, but kind of like it right now. What else here? So you can see where I took I rolled the blue up behind the orange. So that's what these in this kind of discoloration here, which again, I think adds interest and I like. And there's our lizard. I feel like that's pretty good color. I mean, so down here, the letters are getting a little bit lost. This last word, form, F-O-R-M. And I'm going to come back in with a cream marker and outline these letters. Let's do that next. I'm going to outline the letters using this Big Thumb chrome marker. This is my go-to for like a mirror-like quality. I really love this marker for that. I also like Pen Touch metallic markers. These are oil-based, but they are quick dry, very opaque, and permanent. Being left-handed makes this rough sometimes because I just smear. So sometimes my outlines get a little wonky, but I don't really want them to be completely matched up with the letters anyway. That. Okay, I think this one is done. And I really love it. So it's nice when things turn out. I do not always make things that I love. So it's nice when I do. Thank you for coming along with me. I am just beginning to grow this channel. So if you got something out of this video, please consider subscribing or even sharing it with someone else who might enjoy it. You can find me on Instagram at Both Things Creative. You can check out my website, boththingscreative.com or zenajames.com. I share more of my artwork on the Zena James website and am developing a little mini course on the gel plate that I will share at boththingscreative.com. And you can sign up for my email list at both. I hope to see you soon.